Sometimes you don't know what you have until it reaches up into your crotch and bites it, and then you're alerted to the pain, and you're like, oh, that was nice to not have before. That reminds me of Panasonic's 5.7K 60p. Initially, because the files are pretty hard to edit, I was like, probably not going to use that much, but that's pretty phenomenal. Everybody doing like 8K, but 30p, it's useless to me. I need at least 60, so I did a bunch of stuff. I went out, I did see a raccoon, and I slowed some of this down further and enhanced some of it to 11.4K. We got a bunch of magic ahead.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
Oh no, my background wasn't created by a douchebag. How can I fix it? Why is it purple? It's a blue light. I hate you, Canon. I hate you. Okay, we got a bunch of comparisons here with like 5.7K 60 versus 4K 120. This was a raccoon sleeping, 5.7K. Can't get better than that. I moved a little closer, got a better vantage point. We have magical fur blowing in the wind. Sleepy raccoon does not get better than that. Panasonic color science, GH6, Leica Prime. And here we have 4K 120, and you can notice it's significantly sharper. Like, it's totally worth using. Fantastic mode. It's a little tough to play the files, but if you punch on in there, you see that detail. You see the worth in that 5.7K. 60 frames in this situation was obviously slow enough. He's basically dead. Now, what I didn't realize was that I could create proxies in a much shorter time frame than the generate optimized media that I used to know in the past. So like, I just created proxies for all these and it took like 25 minutes or so. I'm not gonna do that for every video, but it's nice to know that I could at least handle life. And so that's what I've done. Now I wanted to get freaky with it. We did a enhance in Topaz 8K 60p with Artemis. Grain, film grain was added. Can you see a difference? It does look a little sharper, maybe a little artifacty. You punch on in there, 300% looks a little weird, not as natural, but sharper. I'm having fun with this Topaz program. Links are down below, affiliate links that make me money. You click on them. It's like, it's cool to do sometimes. For the occasional shot, it's like, I got this squirrel footage here. We do a little 8K 60 versus 5K. I actually slowed this down even further to magic mode. But there was only some usable shots. Well, I'll show you later. But punching on in there, a little 8K sharpness, it's slightly sharper. And I don't mind that. I don't mind the hours it took to render this. I tell you, the more I use this Panasonic, the more I want to take it out. It's so much lighter than that Sony. That's a big deal. And so much more stable. And then I do like the Prime. Boom. One focal length, all I have to do is focus, and the color science looks nice. It's sharper because of the 5.7K. There's not much reason to not use it. I haven't tried much low light. That would be a huge reason, but so far, like, it complements the Sony quite nicely. Not bad. I saw a red dragonfly. Wow, he drinks blood of his enemies. And I noticed that it was hard to focus on him. I did notice that. But I did go down for a lower shot, I do believe. And hot damn, that detail, not bad. I think I could have got maybe slightly closer, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good for like macro abilities in this Leica Prime. I thought that was going to be a huge problem of this lens because it doesn't have the closest focusing distance. Oh, he flew. Oh, wow. I tried enhancing it to 8K 60. I'm not sure I see much of a difference. I even added sharpness and grain. Do you see it? It's hard to tell. I doubt I see it. I'm doubting my own mind right now. Not really seeing it. But Panasonic has a certain richness to the image. Like, this is why I don't love Olympus. They don't have that same richness. I don't know what it is. The color depth. It's not even the color science, it's the depth and just the filmic look to it. It's never looking digital. Like, you're never like, oh god, that's a little over sharpened and kind of highlights blown out, cheap look. Pennyboy does not do that to you. I did manage to see a raccoon foot, and it was exciting. I saw him. This is a different raccoon, different tree, foot appearing, and that is fun. And I tried to sharpen this. I'm like experimenting with different Topaz settings because there's all these different things. I'm not sure what's best for what. But here's 8K 60 in Proteus with sharpness plus 50 and noise reduced by 50 and film grain 6. It looks sharp. Little tree weirdness. There's might be some, I don't know, blur, a strange blur to it, artifacting blur, but it is sharper, noticeably sharper, and that could be good. And it reduces noise, and it takes many hours. I love that. I love that you can just film, enhance it to 8K 60, and then you have this zoom that doesn't lose quality from what you started with. I mean, it loses quality, obviously, as you zoom in. It gets worse and worse. I hate when people say that. Oh, you don't lose any quality. You do, obviously. But from where you were, 5.7K, punching in, there's math to be had. All right, you have to see this squirrel footage. This is the original 5.7K 60p. There was that moment, and then he ran off. He sniffed wood in my presence. He was pretty sharp. There was a lot of moments in between this that were completely out of focus, like this moment. Why did I keep that? I don't know. I eventually got it. I was just like second guessing it, and I suck at this really bad. I did get a tip from one of you hobos that said turn off peaking and go into your mind and just try to judge the sharpness as it once was in your past. And I've been trying that. It might be better. I can't trust the peaking, so why not just get rid of it? So we're doing that now, and it might be better. I suck at it, but you can hone your skill, and eventually I will be good. So I then took that footage and slowed it to 480 frames per second. And there were a couple moments where it was doable, like this moment. There was a bunch that were totally just, the fur was artifacting and it was terrible. But like this, it works. I took 60 frames per second to 480p, and it's totally somewhat doable if you don't look at the details of the squirrel as he moves. There's just some of those foot movements. They're pretty bad, but they're somewhat respectable too. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get something magical one day, and it's not gonna look too weird. You're not gonna question it. What I really hope for Panasonic is, like, we need some firmware updates to speed up that recording delay. For some reason, there's a 2-second delay when you press record. And then it's like it waits 2 seconds and then it shifts dramatically and then it starts recording. It's really distracting. And turning on the camera is like a 3-second delay usually. So that hurts. And I wouldn't mind 4K 180 frames per second and take that HD to 480 frames and improve the quality of it as you slow it further. And for the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. Make the teleconverter, I need a firmware for that thing so I can actually use it with linear focus. That's so stupid that I can't, like, it just switches to non-linear focus when you put that on. It's like, hello, deal breaker. Welcome to my life. I mean, it would be nice to be using maybe a Canon full frame system with animal eye detect. That would be the only thing that would excite me other than Panasonic. Like, the manual focus can be a pain, but you can't trust it in every situation, that eye detect. For some shots it's going to make your life a lot easier, but it's not going to get in between the twigs for perfection. It could at times though, so I don't know. I still debate a lot of things in my life. I don't know. Panasonic's pretty good, but wouldn't mind a little Canon autofocus in my life. But for the most part, I'm somewhat content with using this system for now. So, what do you think? Fun times? Topaz being purchased by you? I enjoy that. Feel free to buy a Panasonic GH6 on the side. And let me know what you thought of all that. And that was fun. For me, not you. Buy a Panasonic Pony of Hope t-shirt. I sold you a lot of things today. Oh boy, I'm sorry for that. I'll go.